All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back here. And hi, Grande. Glad to see you here. And today we're going to be talking about something very special in there. We're talking about the power to stay true to yourself. And within that power of staying true to yourself, recently that power it's uh, so powerful that even helps you in a journey to understanding that the true twin flame union begins first within yourself, but also it's going to bring fluctuations in to actually the connection is going to get strong because you're staying on your truth, not because of anything. And the path of the truth brings that connections to a whole new beautiful, strong love. So without other ado, I'm giving the mic to Paulina up here. And
Yeah, I don't even know where to start. We've been through some meat grinder these days, but I'm happy. That was not an easy experience these days. Being reminded about what we both learned in the journey so far, how much we've grown through all those experiences, through all those previous connections, even before even awakening started. I was getting a lot of reminders from the past, repeating the cycles of the things I've done even before awakening, before having this bigger awareness of what's going on. Um, Overall, we were kind of facing the situations in which it was not comfortable. I take it as one of the biggest tests that we've been going through, trying to remind us, that we are in the journey together. We decided to walk the journey together, but we cannot abandon those things from the past that we've learned about ourselves if we were working on self-worth or independence and strength. When you're trying to get into 3D union, you feel like you have to do some sacrifices and do some choices. And this the whole mental process that's going on with that, because you try to choose the best. You try to make the choice, trying to navigate this next path. And sometimes it's just there is a lot of redirections in this process. Like, I was not aware. I was guessing that it's gonna be smooth. We are just on the same page, and it's just, even I'm surprised by myself, but how the connection is evolving thanks to those uncomfortable discussions that we would keep having, like this whole process of reconfiguring those things in my head, for example. And Dio will be speaking for himself, but I could see how those not super easy conversations, they were making us stronger. They were proving us a lot, because everything is easy when things are easy. Everything is easy if you agree on everything. But going through those disagreements, it really, that's a beautiful test to see how much you've grown and how much your partner growth has grown through all those experiences. So that, for me, that's an overview or what we are going to be talking about, and hopefully people are on the same page with us. And I'm guessing we cannot be the only ones right now going through those changes and trying to operate from this perspective that, yes, we are building something together, but you're still individual in this connection. And that's the proper way to build it. Like, we were getting a lot of confirmation so far, since we kind of stepped back and remember, okay, we are still the whole as a one single person. You're not supposed to make sacrifice if something feels too much pressure for you, or something feels not the right timing. So that's my beginning for this.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm gonna be talking about this, but first of all, I want to recognize the people. Samantha, welcome here. Twin Flames Experience, Lee and Sherry. Hola. Hola, buenos días, ¿cómo estás? Yeah, I love the Spanish. Hola, that was very good. Hi, Piotr. Thank you for coming in as well. Cici, hmm, long time no see. Welcome back in here. Glad to see you here. As Paulina said, these uncomfortable situations and sacrifices. Um, you know, we went through this mental, energy, spiritual, and everything as that similar situations right now to the 3D. We overcome them up there. But when we come here to the 3D to do it, for it, you're gonna be looking at that a little portions is in there that it's not ready. That little things if not ready for the 3D union is you to agree within yourself and to be true to yourself, not to go ahead and that old sticky pattern just to be in a union, just to be on that, just to this, just to sacrifice, just to put yourself, just to go against yourself, just to have it. That is this energy is going to be purified from within you, the power of this codependence, but also is going to show you something else. Personally, talking about this energy is like during the disagreements for it. There were actually not disagreements. There's I will put it probably a different energy. That was a challenges in a very deep level, but they had to be created within the disagreements. Why? Because when the things are not completely ready. And if you have to go against yourself and if you have to push, push, and rush in there, you're going to be like, okay, well, they don't act like the way should act. There isn't this like there isn't this. But when you have this uncomfortable uh, communications, these uncomfortable things that are one of they're rising up for it. I remember there was even in the beginning of the connection, there was a point of time that Paulina is like, uh, I'm just gonna run. That's it. I'm not interested. And it was this way at the beginning. We're talking about this runner chaser dynamic, and a day after she came back, it's like, no, baby. We had to fix that back then. First of all, on energy
Mm.
level and a soul level in there. But that same energy comes out, that energy comes in, and even later on, that energy shows up in different situations, different levels, and right now in the 3D, that energy comes again. So you're going to be working with that energy all the way down. You fix it on all the other levels. But when it comes to the actions, you're going to be working on that. And what it did I did, it's not about me went against myself, but me standing up at myself is like, okay, I have this situation for numbers amount of times. We have those repeating situations as the previous soul connections and so on. There's gotta be something else in here. How about you and I? Let's put our heads together and see what happened in there, what we did, what needs to be done. We begin to using the new energies that are inside of us to guide us. And what happened is we rise above this. I'm talking about especially me. I rise above myself and it's like, okay, what is this? So I had to have the inner battles inside of myself for it. But when I rised up, I was able to see her point. Not like before, acting of this immaturity, masculine energies in there. I was able to use the divine masculine energies to understand. So instead of me being all this lower energies, mad, angry, or sending nasty messages or anything like that, I, the spirit, took me out and rose me above. And it's like, nothing's wrong with you too. You have a old patterns. They are not broken yet. And then that moment in there, these moments of energies when it comes in, you're passing through that threshold in there. You see that energy rise you up, lift you up, and you see there is nothing wrong. It was wrong that the old pattern was still accessing you within you. That shadows of a doubt, the dweller, it's still there, but you're not acting on it. Your actions are based of the soul. not based on the lower self. And at that moment, the both of us, we rised up above. And that improved that energy between us from here to all the way up here. And we was like, oh my God, what is this? And we remember it back in the days when we were facing certain things and the energy of spiritual level and emotional level, psychological level, and so on. It was the same result. But now we have to practice it in a 3D with actions, not just talk, not just energy, not just things, real work in the real time, in the real world in the 3D. So that's from me. I'm going to give you back
Mm,
to Paulina up
thank
here.
you.
So, guys, if you have so many questions, you can talk about it. You can ask
Mm,
about it.
yeah. Hello, everyone who entered the chat a little bit later. Um, as an example, maybe I can start with just example of hard discussions. Those are the moments. Mm, speaking from the perspective of a person who had troubles with conflicts and troubles with having confrontations in a relationship, but in general with people. I tend to always just keep quiet and sit in the back just for the sake of peace. I've had enough emotional turmoils. I just want my peace. But the life just was kept pushing me to uh, probably remind myself that not always you're gonna agree with everyone, and sometimes people will hear things that they don't want to hear. It's not comfortable to hear, or it doesn't match the previous scenario that you were writing, but your soul will be telling you that you just have to act this way. Like sometimes you have to be the bad one just to show yourself that, okay, at this moment we are not in the same page, but are you gonna choose someone's comfort and just the peace, just to keep quiet and peaceful, but you feel something's being off because you kind of forget about what you prove to yourself, and maybe more practical examples. So this is just the moments that you need to share something with someone, with your partner, for example, and he or she's not gonna like it. At the same time, what you have to speak. Like the soul knows what has to be spoken, and it's not gonna be comfortable situation. But those are the situations, they are necessary, especially if you had some issues in the past. That's the only way for you to rewrite these old programs when you can have exactly the same experience. It can be with another person, doesn't matter. Same experience, uncomfortable situation, but the outcome is different. So you're proving yourself that you can do those things the proper way, and you observe what the other side is doing. Are you having a mature conversations, or is everyone's just escaping to their own cave and just shutting it down? So we just figured, on an ego standpoint, it was hard. We were fighting with each other. I had my truth, he has his truth. But on a soul level, we can observe everything happening as a process of just triggering each other, just for me not to put up with myself, not to forget about, I still have my plans here. So maybe I think we can share a little bit more, like to get the context. But both, like everyone knows that we are living in different countries, and for me this is a big step to take in order to get into this, what people say, 3D union, which is basically like being in the same house or same flat next to each other. It's a little, sometimes it takes time. This is the process because you get connected in different levels of life, different backgrounds. You have your plans, you have your dreams, and the transition itself is not an easy process. And I just observed that I was trying to push myself into it to fit this picture of 3D, being together in physical, just moving everything. There are always, of course, sacrifices. Someone has to move. If some two people are in different spots, someone will have to move. But I just figured, I'm not ready for this change. Like it's not my way. I was never acting in my entire life. I was never doing this sudden decisions, sudden changes. This the whole Aquarius way, how people are saying it. Like I'm not buying it. It's just I'm not gonna be pretending that I'm ready for something that I'm not. And it all comes down to those people who are saying, oh, this is age of Aquarius, we have to make those revolutions. And I'm taking it as this is an extreme. I'm not this kind of person. I'm still spiritual, but I'm gonna do things my way. I don't care that what people are saying, how you're supposed to go to those deep waters and just break everything. If you feel you want to do those things steadily and it brings you peace and this joy that you're doing things how you think and how you always were acting was working out for you, no need to create the storms. And I was telling that to Dio several times already for months. I don't believe that we are supposed to create storms. If life wants you to give you a storm, they will bring it to you. But otherwise, like, it's not up to you. You can really flow with that. It just takes a little bit of process, but I think there will be, and it probably the next thing that we're gonna discuss those how the new age, how it's being sold, that everyone has to do those transitions and we are becoming this new earth right away. I don't know. So it causes too much of a distress, I think, and this is not the proper way. So those are the situations. Like, just to give the context, what we are trying to figure out, what is the proper way to get into 3D union without going into these extremes and sudden changes.
Yeah, talking about those things. So CC asked, is it out of fear? It's not about out of fear in there. Me particularly, I understood that. Okay, I can tell, for example, and say, Paulina, if you're not coming in here, if we're not putting all this together, and vai con Dios, right? Ciao, bambino, and so on and so on, right? No, it wasn't about that. I told her if we're gonna be in union, I want her to be happier with her choices, and if she's not ready to make this choice, my divine masculine rise up. And I told her, I want you to be happy next to me. Not like you're not fully happy in yourself in there because something you made sacrifices, something you feel like you're not ready for it. So basically, the situation showed me she wasn't ready. And I had to make sure that if she's ready, I have to understand in there. See, I was asking from my old self and there to me without in this divine masculine energies that we were talking about it here for it. You want your twin flame to be next to you, happy, successfully having their personal journey complete within them with the choice, the conscious choice in all the levels they are with you. If they had to make a sacrifice, I'm talking about against themselves. Of course, material sacrifice in 3D has to be done for it. It doesn't matter from one or the other, from the both, that's going to be coming into you. But it's going to come into your spirituality, within your spirit, that you want your half to be happy in all the levels. Not that they're with you, but right now they're like, well, I'm not happy because of this, I'm not happy because of that. That's what happened with the previous relationships in the past. That karma that is not hidden there. It is not about fear, it is about a deeply spiritual consciousness inside of you developed through all this time and the journey. Okay. If the love is a compromise, as you say, Piotr, in there, you don't have to compromise with your true self because that way you go into the love and relationship with the light towards yourself. But later on, that light becomes light within the relationship. And that's what not twin flame journey is about. Twin flame is about the power of to stay true to yourself. Because when we both state in our truth, our personal truth within ourselves, and we find the way to do things the way we are doing it, guess what happened? Our relationship just jumped and crossed over. And love is about union in the proper way. But if the one compromise and it doesn't feel happy about making that compromise, making that sacrifice, guess what? That's going to be affecting the connections, the future of the relationship. You don't want to have somebody who is not fully happy next to you. No, you want to be right. And this is what we are sharing it here on the channel. So people can get this real experience. It's not about just to go on in there. You have to remember it. The truth here, the personal truth, it is your power because that truth within you is going to be reflecting the true relationship. You don't have to be uh, doing all those gimmicks and all those situations just because inside of you there is still this, even that little bit, that codependency. And you're going to find out that doing exactly what we're explaining it today, your codependency is going to be going out of the window. It's going to be kind of like a squeezed out of you. Yeah, you're going to be feeling comfortable. Yes, it's not going to be good energies. Yes, you're going to have this intensity like you've been tearing apart, but you're tearing apart of the connections within your old self. That ego that was giving you all these energies here in the masculine energies in there. So that's what it is about. Because if you want your partner to be happy with you, they have to be happy with themselves, that they're happy in coming to you. That is a one thing. And there. Otherwise, what's the point, right? You'll learn it. It's gonna be feel uncomfortable when you crossing that threshold. You're gonna find different side of the metal
Mhm.
and that is gonna be giving so much different, strong, powerful 3D foundation for the union that it's coming. You know it's coming no matter when. But even that is the test of even if you're in a physical separations, you're not. You're actually still more stronger and the energy is even more powerful. I don't know how to describe it yet, but within time we will. So back to you, darling.
Hmm. Yeah,
Thank.
especially when you were talking. Oh, we have some comments in the chat. We can maybe first read.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Um, Granted, the truth is alpha, omega, whatever we like it or not, we must learn to live the truth. Actually, the life goes from alpha to omega and from omega to alpha. It's constantly goes in there. And this is those repeatable situations. But when you choose to step out of those repeatable situations in there, of this time looping in there, you stepping up within your own powers, stepping up in your own timeline at the current moment present of time. And then that uncomfortable situations, that uncomfortable things is really ground you to the ground to step in and something that it has solid foundations is in there. Because a lot of the people that are going through the alpha omega at repeating situations, we actually talk about this with Paulina and uh, getting it into those energies within. We felt the pain from the past relationships. It's all rise up into to the connection. It's like we feel this pain, but the connection doesn't feel this pain. What is this? Are we doing something wrong in here? Wait a minute. There's nothing wrong with our connection. Where is this energy sort coming from? Is that collective energy? No, it's within us. It's the pain from the past damaged relationships that were in the 3D. When we had similar situations, we were carrying that energy within us that has not been overcome between partners. We managed to overcome that in there. And this is why this alpha and omega comes in there. It is respecting other. Exactly. You need to respect the other. The mutual respect. She respect my decision. She's like, you know what? I'm actually very happy for you, dear, that I'm respecting your decision. You to stay within you, because that is it, what you are for it. You're not backing it up. You're not doing it this. You're not getting in there. Okay. So yeah, darling, if you want to take over or something, go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to first maybe the CC asked, is it out of fear? I'm guessing that was about my transition. You know, as I said, I'm not ready. May look like I'm not ready to make this jump into the 3D union. Maybe there is a fear. If that's a fear of doing very big step and change and just changing my life 180 degrees, yeah, I admit I'm fearful for that. I'm not afraid of the connection stays strong. It's just probably a little bit of a fear of a change, but I realized something different. For me, it feels like this is not the proper time for me to make this transition yet. This is such a weird feeling because as if something is telling me close this chapter that you have before that properly. It's not time yet to close this chapter. There is something else that you have to see, you have to experience where you are. So this either tells me that, for whatever reason, we still have to be in a distance, maybe, or these transitions have to happen smooth way. But one thing I realize is just I'm not afraid or ashamed to say I'm not ready. It's just I don't need to prove myself anything. I mean, as I explained in some of the video did recently, I acknowledge that in my head that if the universe really pushes me toward making this step, mentally I was ready to do that. It was like, yeah, let me pack, let me just close everything I have here, just jump into this new life. And then shortly after, I was getting a message. It's like, you don't have to do that. It's just take your time. You know yourself best. You know what kind of personality you have. Psychologically. That's important. It's just you cannot skip this balance between spirituality, psychology, and just knowing yourself. Like you're a human. Your entire being is not just about following this super crazy path that it's unfolding. It's about keeping the balance because the way I was talking to Dio, it feels like we wanted to jump into the spirituality and 5D aspect of the connection. But okay, where is the bridge between 3D and 5D? There is no bridge. So, of course, there is no proper way to do those transitions. People may have different personality. Maybe they need this kind of like a rapture and change and just jumping into the waters. Is nothing wrong with that, but just yourself best if you've been on a journey. Like, who are you? And you know your ways. So that's what I realized. Being patient with yourself, staying humble, and just don't feel shame if there is no proper pace to do those transitions. If something is telling you you have some things to close and finish because you had some of your goals, do it. And if you're in this place, you will see how those things will begin to like kind of fly smoothly instead of you trying to push through that and just take yourself with force.
I think is that Paulina was trying to say that, like, when you have something personally to unite or personally you to complete in yourself, that you're supposed to know that you have to complete within you. If you go into the union, you're not going to be able to complete. That is the one thing that it's going to be stopping you with this. I had to go ahead and go above to understand this. And then since I understood it, I took the energy of the union, even on a higher level. That understanding proved to us not only the strength of the connection, it proved a lot of more. I don't know how to describe it in there. Uh, it's like I was explaining back in the days when it getting together, it does like this and 10 like this and comes together. It was this moment when this meshing was kind of like coming together that strong. And there was no separations at all. It was only the evolving of that position. And of course, there was a fears of past not to repeat. But when we're talking about past not to repeat, if you have something unhealed within you, the past is gonna come in and haunt you to repeat itself until you overcome it. We were able to overcome it. We were able to overcome it, but still that trail from the past is still haunting you. That is a incomplete. And if that trail from the past is not healed from the past relationships, because we fix that energies back in us all and so on. But here in 3D, we have it fixed. And that is a what we came out to sharing this informations, guys, is that the things that it needs to be done of that preparations for this union, it is about your performance and actions when the things for the physical union begins to develop, but then they're gonna line up certain things about this beginning of this physical union, they begin to come in. But we felt that there was something's missing. The gift from the universe was there. Boom, it was there. And we both knew the gift is there. We received it. No problems. But there was a problem. Now, what do we need to do in there? Should we go full force knowing that something is not okay? Or we should just step back, see the reality, see what these issues are. So that way, when we came together, that can be a solid, not like shaking ground or anything like this. So if you're talking about fear, CC, or something, there is that little part of fear energies, but at the same time, the powerful wisdom and the power of the connections, let me tell you, the power of a connection is very stubborn within us, and there was a help from above. But talking about those processes, we're probably gonna talk next week or something for it. But here's the thing in there. The inner work that you did on your personal journey is going to be so much helpful because you prepared for it. You will know how to act now. You put your act together on the base of your journey. And if you're not done your journey, you're just sitting there somewhere in your mental process or philosophy or psychology processes and there, and you're still trying to figure things out there for it. You do that work, get that mental processes in there. But when you start coming into that 3D, you're gonna be know how to act. And I'm so glad that the journey to help us. I'm just happy in there. So that's what I'm all about to say. Uh, what else? I think I answered the grande. Sissy, always your head is exactly in the middle of the small painting behind you. Make the world laughing out loud. That is not painting actually.
Oh, there's Dreamcatcher. It's even better. That's a proper lol.
It's the dream catcher in there, and lately the energies are much better. I don't know if you're feeling it, my energies, but I've been through a lot of things, a lot of improvements, and I'm so glad about this improvements. Yes, it's going to have a little pain as you feel it, Sissy, in there, but that is it, the pain of you let it go of the pain that was pain within you. You're going to feel that. Maybe some old wounds and healed inside of it. Now you're healing it. You need to understand that pains remind you that you need to heal it with pain. It doesn't remind you with the sugar coating and kisses and love only. She's reminds you of what this is. Okay. So you are a rose of wisdom, Paulina. Well, she
Thank you,
is.
Brandon.
She
Mm.
is. If the relationship is real and the love is, then it doesn't matter if you're on opposing end of the world. No, you're gonna find out if your connection is short, nothing's changed because nothing's been changed.
Mm.
That's an example for you guys. Yeah, where is a Saint Apostle Thomas? Until I don't put his finger on his ribs, I won't believe. And now you see it. You can believe it. All right. Samantha, hey dear, thank you guys for sharing. If you choose not to go into union, do yourself and lose the energies. No, actually, you don't. You're gonna be put to that choice to choose the union or not in there. But you are gonna be for it that the divine is gonna be tell you that you're gonna be okay with or without it. Um, man, this is kind of like to share it, not to share it, but
Keep it general.
no, it's not about personal sharing or not. It is about that this is one of those things that people can use this information and in a totally different way in there because of when you come into these choices to be in a union or not to be in a union and so on, you're going to find out that there is much more beyond that. The reasons you come up to these choices in there, that's going to be triggered everything the heck out of you from your past. You're going to face your past like, I mean, you're going to face it. I'm talking about not the past that you got to the journey of the twin flame. No, I'm talking about even the past when you have that 3D experience all your life for it. And when this is coming in there, there's going to be the choice that you're going to be, I'm going to be okay with or without it. And I'm going to be doing what I'm supposed to do. When you do that, though, when you do that, though, you have to have this mental strength. It doesn't matter what the connection stays alive. You're not cutting anything, you're not removing anything, or so on. But you are ready to remove your codependency to the last drop out of yourself because you did your inner completion work within the journey. You're gonna facing yourself at the end. And some of the people won't be ready to face themselves at the end. But staying the true to yourself, within yourself, it's going to be helping you to pass that threshold. And this is what this video is about. And there, yeah, you're not going to feel comfortable. Yes, you are going to be, oh my God, you can feel like what is that, I had everything, all this beautiful, and I'm ready for union, everything is great. You have the gift from the universe, right? The universe sends you a gift, both knows the gift is a gift, and you have to go and receive your gift. But the universe says, like, wait a minute, there's the one last step you have to do, and you're like, what do you mean? What I need to do?
Mm.
Oh, that's what not people are not talking about within a twin flame community, right? Yeah,
Mhm.
you know what a deal says. It is what it is. Get going. facing on your truth and get there, right? Using your masculine and feminine energies at the same time. That's what you are twin flame, right? Yeah, well, Paulina knew what I was going through, and she was like, "Man, you're like I talking, I got my boxing glove, against all this behind me. So let me just put them on, see what happens with me fighting myself." And yeah, but I was have that fight 5, 6, 8 months ago, and my mental, my spiritual, and a soul level. She knew him. She had hers. I knew, but now was the time to prove that. Did we really did it? Did you really win back then at the end and before? Now was a performance time. So back to you, darling.
Yeah.
Can
Yeah,
take the
when we
mic.
were talking about this codependency, maybe I will comment on that and we can read the rest of the chat. But the moment you talked about removing the codependency, that's a very important step, because I realized what was going on in my head. I was having the questions, mm, kind of, can you see beyond the union? Can you see yourself without the union? Can you see yourself without achieving 3D union? If that's the case, if that's what your soul wants, because it's not a matter of questioning the connection. Is it more like, if the higher purpose is for you guys not to be together in 3D, can you see that beyond? Like, can you put your mind in this abstract position to expand enough to see something that you may not achieve this union even in this lifetime? And how would you feel about that? And it was super uncomfortable to say that, to even think about that, because there were fears. Oh, how come? Like, it won't happen, it wouldn't happen. So those fears, it just taught me that those previous fears I had about losing person, they are coming back. And they will be coming back unless you will say, okay, I take it as opportunity, I can expand my mind enough to know that it can happen again. Maybe it will, but does it mean that everything's gonna end up? Or can you see yourself just having still your personal journey? So as long as I really have faith in this connection, this is a big part, because there were moments that I was like, okay, if the universe wants it, will continue. If not, I accept that. But you see, sometimes we don't have to create those situations, they don't have to come to fruition. It's more about expanding your mind enough just to see this timeline, this possibility that it might have happened, because that's how you also replay that scenario. So I don't know, Dio, if you can agree on that, but those were the important steps that were happening in my head those days, just to see, are you still free as an individual? And can you see this is a choice, and this is not, the union is not the end? Because I think it's very easy to get into this very narrow path, a little bit like a blindsided, that you're facing, okay, I'm going towards union and there is nothing outside of this bubble. There is still a world outside of this union, and this connection that you have between those two individuals. But for me, that was very much like expansion, I have to say, because I had to exercise those scenarios in my head, to see, are you still seeing yourselves as an individual? Are you strong enough? As a mental exercise, what would you do in this position? So if anything, I just realized that it helped me to see the whole perspective once again, remind myself that we are still individuals.
Okay. So she said the words timelines. Okay. So here what the timeline looks like during this process. You're going to be staying on one timeline, and imagine you're watching a movie, and the movie is you. So here is two screens, right? You're watching the one ending at the bad ending, and watching how the next episode is played, the future, how you acting and reacting in the next phase. The one, the series is ending. The soap opera is ending. And you see yourself, there was nothing good to that ending. So you're gonna see the timelines in there. As Paulina said, playing those scenarios. Because those scenarios they're playing in your head, inside of you. Those scenarios are triggering they're coming from your lower self that triggers you to test you. You're gonna find the shadow, the dweller within yourself. You need to understand that the purpose of the dweller is to test you that what did you did in the previous connections? What did you do at a previous time? What did you not overcome in the previous situations? What did not happen in there? How was your act and reactions? And I see it. If I'm going to be reacting the same old way, things is not, the soap opera is ending. But I see if I make the other choices and why I make the other choices. And all of a sudden, that screen that it's with the continuous, with the growth, with the expansions, with the maturity. I was on that screen at the same time. So I knew the choices isn't there. I knew why those choices were made. The only thing was that I had a choice to choose ending as I did from before, as I did like in the previous four. So you're gonna be showing up that to you. It's going to be compared to the screen who is right behind you, the previous relationship scenarios. It was in the previous scenarios of the previous relationship. You're going to see all those scenarios in the TVs and those timelines for you. And you're going to see your current timeline there. And you choose your current timeline where you're standing at. You're going to find out that what you did not overcome was you. You did not overcome yourself. You did not overcome your codependency at that point. Your desires, your controls. That's what you did not overcome. And when you overcome it, there is only a one stable timeline in there. So that's what it's kind of like a explaining in there.
Yeah, there are some more comments in the chat. Let me see which ones we. Oh, if I wanted to maybe comment about those losing the energies. No, not really. We were talking to each other that the union will happen one way or another. It will happen maybe in this lifetime, maybe not in this lifetime, maybe with this person, maybe not with this person. But union flows its own way, its own direction. Like honestly, you don't have to do anything. If you want and you want to choose the spiritual path, there will be choices for you. They will be quite easy, unless if you're supposed to be shaken up, you will. But you can just relax a little bit about the unions, and it's just overall this is a long journey, and that should never be your final goal and final destination. I think it's because it takes off a lot of your energies in the present moment. It's just based on my quite short experience, because I'm still new, how you could consider. It was always working out for me when I was choosing this very nice pace, balancing what's happening right now with me. And the moment I just took off this image of the union and just getting together with anyone, any of those soul connections, the life was getting better. It's just, it really takes off these unnecessary pressures. And if you're in this flow, the union will be creating itself. And again, like, you don't know which person, it doesn't matter with which person, but you will be guided towards the union, because at the same time, that's going to be the union of your energies. And if anything, you cannot stop it. You can try to stop it, but you can try to resist it, you can try to push forward to it, but there is a general optimal pace that you can choose to just accept it, and enjoy this whole journey more. So that was just a comment on that. Maybe I can go through the next ones.
Okay.
Uh, for the union to succeed, we must be completely ready. It only happens if we are completely ready. Yeah, so and as I was saying, it's nothing wrong to acknowledge, like, oh, this is a big step for me. Like, I don't think that's gonna be healthy for me, for the connection, for everything, and it's not gonna be the good example, because guys, we should remember that we are supposed to give an example here. So what kind of example that would be if one person chooses to be completely pushed through that? I'm not saying about the partner. Sometimes it's your personal push, but this is not the proper example for us to live the life. So that's why we have to reconsider. And sometimes you're getting those stop moment, that it's, oh, you're trying to rush too much. There is no balance in here. So
Yeah,
where,
that's
and
go ahead, babe.
there's, sorry, you can add.
I wanted to add that here it's that if you're not completely ready, you're not able to know true within yourself that you are completely ready. If you are realizing this power of staying true to yourself, and when you're not ready, you're not ready. If you are ready and your partner is not ready, that's mean you both not ready. Don't don't push it. Don't rush it because things is gonna rise up. Things gonna become yes, it's gonna be uncomfortable. If it's not gonna be pleasant. But when you figure that out, the things that are not pleasant, it has nothing to do with the connection. They have nothing to do with the connection. They have something to do with your past, with your old paradigms within yourself, with the old things that you've been fighting along the way that you have not complete within you. And that is that when you complete it within you, then you're completely ready. Then the connection is there, just waiting for it to be manifested in the 3D. Okay,
But
so
you
that's
see,
what I
it's
want to
not
mention.
about, we are talking about a lot about being ready and readiness for whatever. But I start to see it's okay, maybe you are not ready for this specific step, but that means that you're ready for something else. And instead of focusing, on putting the pressures and the connection on something that is not working in the current moment, that normally means that there is something that is completely aligned with what your guy is supposed to do, right? So it's more, but you can only discuss that, you kind of find it through the conversations, find it through first acknowledging, this solution doesn't work for me. I don't believe that's the way we should go. And it might not be the way we planned it, but something feels off. I think we have to explore other options that we both feel ready. So, we were talking about looking for solutions. So sometimes there is just this tiny solution that you don't see when you are blinded by your own agenda. That, maybe that will be rash, maybe that will be super completely crazy, but it's not the proper way. But both people have to be open enough to communicate that, because I could choose to be quiet. I could choose to push myself into the kind of rushing towards those next steps. Would it be healthy? I don't think so. For us, this is a good practice to see both of us for who we are, and we didn't forget our lessons from the past.
Mhm. Oh, we've been discussing at these situations quite a lot because it's a repeatable patterns. When we were going through the journey, we're still seeing a lot of the repeating past, this repeatable situations from the past that comes in. They're like this hunch in your back, that like trying to escape your shadow, and the shadow says like, "No, I'm attached to you. Don't even thinking about it." The only way is if you stray straight against the light. There is no, there is a shadow, but it's only limited, right? But if you go on the side of the light, how big is your shadow, right? So if you stay in the front of the light, so the shadow is much bigger behind you. If you stay behind the light, then the shadow is in front of you, right? But if you stay in the center of the light, there the shadow is a little bit smaller. Isn't in there? So there's a lot of learning of this positions, a lot of that for it.
Mhm.
For the union to, yeah, okay. Sisi had a questions, but before that, I want to say thank you to Samantha and Granda. Thank you guys for the super chat. Appreciate
Thank you.
it. Thank you so much. Sisi, did one of you help back to ask certain questions for the other?
Mm.
It wasn't about questions, actually. It's about more about that we felt that something wasn't there, and we begin to exploring what it is. Then we sit down and let's have a talk. This uncomfortable situations that is in there, it's like let's figure that out. And somehow, some way, you're gonna figure that out that staying in your own powers as a twin flame that is built, you have to prove it at this tough moment that you're gonna be okay either with, but you see in the energy what it is, but at the same time, the energy of the connection it comes in. It says like, no, it's not that. It is something else. And you're looking within the shadow. You're
Mm.
looking at within your subconsciousness shadow within yourself that you hide from yourself onto the 3D. It could remind you the reason why getting to the twin flames journey itself. Okay. It wasn't about to certain questions or certain things. It is about to look the situation straight in the dead ball eye and deal with it mature way because the immature way was triggered, but the mature way is beautiful. Uncomfortable,
Mm.
but beautiful. And that beauty shows up, the maturity of the connection, guys. Yeah, you're gonna be tested. Those uncomfortable things, you're gonna be tested. The biggest part is stay in your truth. Stay in your truth.
Mm.
All right. It is the divine who has the last word if he happens to have human. Oh, when you get to that point, oh yeah,
Mm.
you're gonna feel it. See, the universe, as we said, the universe have a gift for us. We got the gift. We're getting gifted. We knew it. It's just right there.
Mm.
And there was this just like a last
Redirection.
redirections in there. It's like, okay, it's for you guys. Okay, you can get it. It's all right. It's done. Mm. But there is gotta be something a little bit more. It just this
Mhm.
last pushes in there. It's like, you know, like, right? But hey, let me tell you, when a disc moment comes and it clears this stuff inside of it, those is gonna be the things you're gonna be really, really happy. You'll find it.
Mhm.
You may not feel comfortable, but give it a time. Let's get
Mhm.
that situations in there. Yeah, it's gonna hurt because some portions of yourself is gonna be purged out in the level to yourself. You're gonna feel lighter in there.
Mhm.
So yes, the universe has its last tank in there. All right, Samantha, how can I tell if you are masculine or feminine energy? Feeling my heart masculine mostly. Does that mean I'm a masculine? Talk about those. You're both at the same time. Your balance is what you need to maintain because the journey is going to tell you if you're in the one extreme of the other. And when you are there in balance, you are in peace because you don't disagree with yourself. But if you, the masculine and the feminine energies, they're not in alignment with yourself. If something is not in alignment, then you are in fight, right? You're fighting those two energies in there. You look at it from feminine perspective in there, what the situation should have been, and you're looking at it from masculine perspective, the way it should be. And the way to say this, if you need to troubleshooting this. Actually, I'm going to give you a little tips. And when you point out towards, oh, my twin flame, my divine masculine or my divine feminine is not doing this and this, that is your internal conflict with the energies within yourself. You just expressing them through the comments. So if you need some help on that, there is an email. You can write me an email or we can chit chat on Facebook for a little bit and see if there is anything we can help you with it within this. But if you uh, put yourself within this, Samantha, for it, um, take a look at it because if you describe yourself more as a masculine and more as a feminine, that's mean that your disbalance within yourself. It is for it. 99% of the time, when the female, it's more than a masculine energies. That's mean that she abandoned at some point her feminine energies in their life, and that needs a little bit more internal work. Uh, why? What
Yeah, but
happened?
also, what needs to happen? This is like a paradigm shift, because I think, it's just repeating what people learned on the way. So it's just in time, just kind of realizing that, we both have both energies. It's just, okay, you can have more masculine traits or more feminine traits, and they will be changing along the connection. But if they are not in balance, you will get those triggers. So based on our example, my masculine got a little bit dimmed. I was thinking, oh, I should probably be more, how do you say, like we were talking about, sacrifice is not the right word to use here, but my masculine power reminded me to, stay up for myself and just communicate the proper way what I'm feeling. So you see the balance between emotions and my authority, just not being afraid to speak about those important things instead of keeping quiet, which feels more a little bit more feminine, right? But it's not the proper one. So it's really like, if anything, if you want to work on those connections with another people, that's all you have to care about. It's just, mm, and as like the sooner you kind of try to accept that's how it is, we don't have divine masculine counterparts. Like, just take it from your head, because mm, it may seem like that's the proper way, but it's not. You're whole as a person. So I think it's, you see, this paradigm shifts, it will be happening over and over the more people are hearing that from around people, and they will be seeing that as an example. So
Yep, you're gonna see it in there because you're learning. I was talking about the four energies, two masculine and two feminine. You have the lower feminine, the lower masculine, the higher the masculine, the higher feminine in there. And this is what that paradigm is you two evolving more and more. And of course, you're gonna have clashes in there for it. So the time is gonna comes in, but look within yourself. And what I'm going to tell you is that self-love is the healing part of this. You to love yourself on both sides. And uh, okay, where were we? Grande Samantha, why don't you know? Why do you want to know what is important to get the balance between? Yeah, exactly. Grant is giving you the similar advices. And there, as I said, guys, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. And Piotr, you probably know a lot of twin flames running this channel. I have questions. Do you know any twins who are together? I know some twin flames who are together. I know some people who got together. I know some of those twin flames, they got together, they got into the family, and they did their inner work, and they're working. And every twin flame set that I know for it, they're doing their parts of their own because each of the twin flame set has something to bring into the world. Okay, I know this couple, they're in Australia. Great. great. The great example. He did the great stuff. So is she. But they show this example. Okay. And you guys don't know them. They don't have a YouTube channel, but they show up a different way. They have their relationship give the fruit of two beautiful kids. I see them. They rose up in the front of my eyes. I see them and through the pictures and so on. I mean, not to put myself, but I told them before they get in it there, you guys gonna have some kids through the astrology charts. And they're like, oh no, no, okay. 3 months pass by and they're like, oh my God, he wants to know how many kids we're gonna have. However, it is what it is. But it is not about how many people you see it as a twin flame, so you can develop your belief. It can't be something that you are not. You can't attract something that you are not. You need to learn in order to be in a twin flame relationships as a standard, as the people knows in the community, because they turn this from personal journey to a relationship. But that's how the community is learning this. And there for it, you gotta be a twin flame to yourself first. You gotta be a twin flame to you. That's how you're gonna get the right thing. Otherwise, programming yourself that you're a twin flame or thinking about because there's a lot of people out there they are programming themselves because they listen informations they get in there and so on and later on they just like beginning this trauma and so on grinding it out as Paulina said we are in a mid grinder and grinding it out with your soul spirit and energies and being within the truth and you going it within yourself these battles that it's like pretty much even the sci-fi movie cannot produce things that you never seen, probably in a song or even the movies they're talking about it. You got to influence yourself, and that will lead to a partner who the universe gonna say, now you're ready to get in that journey. But now, before that, yeah, you can meet the person, you can get in the person, but he didn't did the work. You to become the twin flame, don't expecting union. You didn't do the inner work on yourself personally. That's what I'm gonna be saying. So if you're asking about twin flames put together, so you can just to have this belief within yourself, you gotta have belief first within you, who you are as a twin flame, and that is gonna help you to move higher, not only with understanding within the energies, but even within yourself as a whole, as an energy within your spirit. So yes. Grande, I mean, we don't really have free will to avoid the truth. We choose whatever it's to unpleasant. You can try to sneak in about the truth, but you can't because sooner or later the truth comes out. It's always been that way. And this is why it is very crucial to stay true to yourself. Okay. I appreciate Paulina's her will to stay in her truth about what it is because the happiness is important. But at the same time, she appreciates the truth within me because she understands the happiness is important to me. And we are going to find that tiny road about both with happiness. Remember what it says in the Bible the road that's tiny, many will be called, but few will pass. But it's all up to you. It's always up to you. And the truth is that tiny road. Here's a little nugget for you. The truth.
Mm.
Hi, Lorna. Glad you show up. TF is the love for yourself that you must rediscover. Exactly. That's how
Mm.
that is.
I wanted to add something more when you were talking about what Piotr said. Um, Hi, Lorna. Good to see you here. You're a little bit late to the party, but good to see you. Um, what I wanted to say is about those twin flames who are together. First, we have to see, what are you consider being together? Do you consider just two people who can communicate and maintain the connection even if they're not having family and not having kids? That's one thing to know, but at the same time, the question to answer is, would you be striving for your twin flame experience with certain person to continue even if it's harmful for you? you know should those kinds of people strive to get together no matter what, or should we be in a mindset that I can outgrow this limitation for being a twin flame of this other counterpart? You see, I think this is a different question to ask. It's not about, oh, is the union coming to with this person? The question is, are you happy? Are you healthy? Are you balanced? Is this connection serving its purpose or not? Are you able to see that maybe you have to outgrow this paradigm of having one twin flame and just see that from this healthy perspective? Is it giving you growth, or is it leaving you in this runner chaser dynamic? So I think it's that will be you will be rediscovering which level of understanding you will be regarding the twin flame journey. But if something is calling you to question what other people are saying, and some things can feel limiting, that some people are setting, or some belief system are setting limits on yourself, don't feel bad about that, because there is no good or right or wrong thing to understand those things. The only thing that you have to break is limits. So if something is telling you, oh, I feel limited because I feel I should explore more in this journey, but then I would need to wait with my twin for my twin to evolve and to awaken, and until then I will patiently wait for my divine masculine because I'm divine feminine. If you feel this feels too small, probably it's too small to you, and just get out of this paradigm and try to see if there is something else outside of this bubble of twin flame paradigm and twin flame story. So just this is my tip for you, because it doesn't end on twin flame journey. There is another dimensions to explore, there is another paradigms to break, and there is a lot of things to learn in this journey, that's for sure. Yeah.
She know what that's mean, okay? But I will kind of like expand,
My
guys,
head is too
expand.
small.
Yeah. Don't think small. Don't limit yourself. Because of the journey is going. We're discovering even more new stuff, more advanced to it. Sometimes you are like, are we an aliens? And there, but talking about the expansions inside of you is you to coach yourself when you're self-limiting. That's going to be one of another topic that we maybe, hmm, who knows, maybe tomorrow we can make a video about this self-limitations in there, but uh, don't put your life on hold, your personal life on hold, because if something is not going the way you want it. No, you have to stand on your own power. The universe sees that power. Your partner sees that power. And the connection is going to be even powerful more than you ever imagined. But that's how the journey goes. Okay, it's you. It's never been outside of you. It is you who are the twin flame. When the partner choosing you, then you understand. the divine is bringing it to whole another dimensions of existence of relationship. Even Mel was talking about it. One of his last videos before he passed away, may so his rest in peace, but his energy is still around for it. But talking about this, he said, I hope this twin flame evolution is gonna come in even to a higher dimension. He knew it, but it's about you to evolve to this point. It's always you. Okay. Don't look what your twin flame does, what they does or what they don't. What they are, you try to steer him, change him, control him, manipulate him, and no, no, it's you. You control yourself. Lorna, happy to see you both. We happy to see you too. Hopefully Hattori is doing fine in there. I was
And
looking
all
at,
the others.
yeah, well, I recently purchased a Horus medallion, and I was talking about Hathor and went to this crystal shop, and the guy is just looking at me, and he shows me two hand pens. Wanted to see them what they are, and he shows me each one what they are and how to determine it, what pen, what it is, and the one that comes in with five, the other is comes with the seven tones and so on. Is like, okay, that's how this goes, and he explained it very well. And I showed him what I was looking for, and he's like, We don't make those in there." So, but with that being said, in there, on a side note, guys, it is about that you're gonna be put in a time, in a place, with in the present, and it's up to you of your ability of understanding to create choices based out of the understanding out of the current present moment of time that will challenge you for a better choices for the future. Remember that. It's a huge tip about this. Okay, guys, that's all I have for you guys tonight.
Mhm. Yeah, I think we covered it all. We shared our recent experience, and if anything happened, it's just so interesting. I want to maybe to conclude. It's so interesting to be in those two spaces at the same time, to see how your ego is battling with those old patterns. And for example, on a soul level, like I wish it didn't happen. I wish we didn't create as emotional turmoils. At the same time, my higher soul knows that's necessary. Like I'm seeing the whole process at the same time. As much as it's uncomfortable, we are both having at the same time the conversation on a higher level. So we know we don't want to hurt each other on this journey. Like we've had enough. It's more about it really feels it's for our growth, and it just makes this connection stronger and gives us this chance to test it out really well. So we both know this is a conscious choice. Of course it's not gonna be easy, because if it was easy you would just stay in your bubble forever, and then you wouldn't see outside of your twin flame bubble. And the whole idea is just not to get dependent. At any point you should not stop your evolution. So if you will be getting too much comfortable with another person, they will be creating this um, experiences of just expanding you. Can you see if you don't have it? Can you still imagine yourself as being strong individual in any kind of scenario? So you see how it's a beautiful journey, but it clearly it gets just better when you include this spirituality and patience, and never judge those occurrences, and don't doubt in yourself. This journey is not about making everyone happy all the time and just keeping your peace comes when it's needed. But if there is something telling you that it's not right, and some things have to be discussed and adjusted, that means that they have to be adjusted, because there is another path for you that you have. It's even more blessing that will come on the way if you don't push and just go with this flow. So.
Exactly. Just go with the flow. And thank you guys for coming in today. For it, Lorna,
Mhm.
thank you for the updates. in there.
Poor Mars.
Yes, for Mars. Oh my God, astrology. Uh,
Hopefully he will be better. Yeah.
he'll be better. He'll be better. For it. And the last thing that I want to say. Oh, hi, Cyril. Thank you for being here. Yeah, watching from the beginning is gonna help you, but glad to you just send the chat for it. But don't condemn anything. Don't condemn yourself. Don't condemn the journey. Don't condemn the universe. Don't condemn your partner, and so on. Understanding and mastering of being a good listener to listen your partner, yourself, and the universe. That is a key. Listener. Okay. You may listen to words. Why you listen to it? You may understand the energy, but you listen to energy. You may count these energies from your lower self, but do you hearing your higher self? This is kind of like a good things for you to ask yourself, guys. And that's where I'm leaving you. All right, guys.
Mhm.
Be love from it.
Yeah. Thank you for hearts. Thank you, Lorna. Yeah, we are happy to do that because those moments that are coming to us, we immediately know we have to share it. Like we go through those experiences so other people are prepared that, not to forget about themselves and how to navigate those uncomfortable situations. That it's not wrong. You're not doing anything wrong if you go and say something that someone may not want to say, may not want to hear. So hopefully it's useful for you. Thank you,
There
Grande.
you go, your gifts, guys. And thank you again for the super chat. And by the way, JCK CPA, thank you for the coffee. Appreciate it. All right, guys. Be
Mhm.
love.
Be love and see you next time.